because obviously I unfortunately had the death spoiled for me from leaks, and then I played my first time through, and I was already a little bitter because of that.
Yeah,
On my
actually,
second
before we jump into
yeah,
more of
what's
it,
up?
I want you to go into depth of this because we had a conversation. I remember us talking about this for like an
Sure.
hour and a half before, and like I want to get your full story. So yes, tell the entire story
Yeah,
because I want to actually hear this.
I got you. So this was during the pandemic, and everything was a mess already.
Ooh,
And I remember we were all predicting Joel was going to die. I just think we weren't ready to see how. And the moment that the leaks came out, because I had been following a lot of the hype pages and everything, and then everybody was talking about the leaks, and I said, "Oh shit, what came out?" Obviously, I had the main title. People were saying Joel dies, and I was like, "Okay, I kind of saw that coming." But curiosity got the best of me. I wanted to see how he died, and you see that scene of Ellie walking in and Abby murdering him, and you're just like, "Well, shit, man." And more leaks started coming out. It wasn't doing any favors. It was Joel's death. You saw this girl beating the shit out of Ellie in the final fight, and then you see uh, just words, paragraphs were coming out saying you're going to play as the girl who kills Joel. So a lot of people went into it hella pissed. I'm going
yes.
to exclude all the bigots and those people. This is not part of that conversation because I'm not going to sit here and go, "Oh, the woman had muscles, so I'm mad." I'm not going to do that. I know people did. That's their problem. And then rumors started. Like people said, "Oh, is Abby trans?" Because God forbid a woman has muscles. And we didn't have to take the argument there at all. And that brings me into actually playing the game. I had some beef on that first playthrough because of the spoiler of Joel dying, but more context didn't help at all. Like people said, "Oh, just wait, you see the more plot, you're gonna love it," and I didn't. I thought it was poorly done because I get it. The narrative split up like, "Oh, okay, we're going to learn more about that last conversation with Joel as time goes on and on and on." But it's how they set it up for him to die that bothered me because he goes into this room. He's with Tommy, and they're like, "Oh, what are your guys like?" They just thrusted these strangers into this room, let themselves get boxed in, and then they just say their names like we're at a Sunday brunch. And like, "Yeah, I'm Joel. That's Tommy." And it just contradicts to me. I know people justify, people say, "Oh, he's older now, he's calmer," but it contradicts the Survivor Joel that I remember from the first one, from that critically acclaimed game,
Oh,
where he wouldn't reveal things. He
as,
would trust no one. Yeah.
so I also was thinking about this, and I wanted to talk to you about it. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just want to also
Now, come on, what do you got?
put this out there. Had Tommy not said his name at all, but Joel said his, how do they know they found the right Joel? Joel is a very common name. How do you know you
Yeah.
found the right one? Because there was no picture of Joel that they could go off of. All they had was some old guy with Ellie took Ellie away. They don't know what he looks like. The guys who do know what he looked like, they are gone and dead. They don't know what he looks like. It's been 5 years since you've seen him. How do you know you have the right Joel?
This is one of my favorite arguments about this because I side with you. Like, that could have been Joel Stevenson. Okay, he could have been nicknamed Joel, and he's actually whatever. And it drives me nuts because it's just bad writing, and I'm not afraid to say it. It's poorly written at times, not throughout the whole game. I think the gameplay of The Last of Us 2 is fantastic. It's just the narrative is all over the place. You have characters that don't feel like themselves. You have like that Joel scene, right? If
Mm-hmm.
you look at the initial concept art and concepts for The Last of Us Part 2, Abby was supposed to be a character that was introduced coming into Jackson. She was going to infiltrate Jackson, gain their trust, and then kill Joel, which I think would have been significantly better. It's that whole dramatic irony thing. We know who she is. He doesn't. And then we have maybe some explanation. She gets a reveal. She hears a little bit about him, and she's like, "Ah, that's our guy." But to have him show up as a complete stranger, come into one scene with her, trust her fully, and just get killed. I thought that was terrible. I thought they could have done so much better. And then the narrative shifts because you thrust us into Ellie and you say, all right, now you're on this revenge quest. All right, I can run with that. I've played revenge games before. A lot of games are revenge games. Shadow of Mordor, Assassin's Creed, every single one of them. But that's the main goal. And then the game has you going along all the steps of getting to Jackson or Seattle and going after her, and you finally you hit the apex of the story where you're about to meet the woman who killed Joel again and fight her, and then they just go to black. They rewind the clocks, and you have to play as Abby from the beginning. So all momentum, you just put the hard brake on that. And I say to myself and to anybody else, what desire do I have to keep playing this game right now? Especially on my first playthrough, because you were building me up, and now I got to start over. And I understand, get to know her. I just wish there was a way they could have made these stories coincide that didn't have this gap. And now I got to learn about her, and then I got to look at Ellie. Ellie's a douchebag, and she's the one I got to be rooting for. And it just didn't work for me.
And to me, this could have been the Abby storyline. This honestly could have been just DLC or a small like side play game. This literally what it could have been. Literally a DLC.
Yeah.
They could have,
because all of that. Yeah, I agree.
So like, and I guarantee this. Like, if had it been a DLC, people would have bought it. They would have bought it for sure.
Yes. Sam, people buy anything Last of Us, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. They could re-release that game again and turn up the brightness by 2 things, and it would sell out. It would sell out. I'm not even joking. I gotta send you. I made a parody of this. I'll send it to you.